So I'll just show you a few samples of the tasks and how they're written. So in your tasks.js, for example, you could want to generate 2 postnatal visit tasks for every delivery form that is submitted. And you perhaps want your task to show or to be due 7 and 14 days after the delivery report was submitted. And you want each task to display 2 days before the due date and 2 days after the due date. So in this case, you have your property icon, which is shown there, mother-child, because it's a postnatal visit, meaning this is someone who delivered, very likely have a child. And so it's something that happens after that and involves mother and child. The title here shows the translation key, which is task.postnatal follow-up. And in your properties file, you could have task.postnatal follow-up is equal to postnatal follow-up. So that would then substitute this translation key with the human readable postnatal follow-up title. Applies to where you want to generate for every delivery form. So your applies to would be reports, because the delivery form is a report. Your applies to type would be the delivery report, and that's the form ID or the form code for that report. And in your actions, when someone taps on that task, you want it to show a postnatal visit form. And so your form would be the postnatal visit form. So action would be the object containing form, which is postnatal visit form. And then in your events, you have 2 events. This represents the 2 tasks, the first visit and the second visit. The due dates would be 7 days after the form is submitted and 14 days after the form is submitted. And you want the task to start showing 2 days before the due date and keep showing until 2 days after the due date. So the start is 2 and the end is 2 for both of these tasks. You can have them different. It all depends on what your specifications are. Under resolved if, you will have your function, and this function checks that the delivery form is submitted, a delivery form is submitted within this window. And actually here I could see that perhaps the design could be a bit broken, because the aim is to have a postnatal visit form submitted for every task. However, this task is resolved when a delivery form is submitted. So this should probably be a postnatal visit submitted within that window. So in such a case, you'd probably talk to a designer and find out whether this is the correct specification or it should be different. So in this, we have another task that uses a separate file to provide additional functionality. So you could have additional functions that you want to use, and you would write this in a separate file called nulls extras.js. So in this case, you have a task that should generate 1 postnatal visit for every home delivery. And the task is due 0 days after the delivery report. And the task is displayed on the due date and up to 4 days after the due date. So here are the key things you're looking at. One is the applies if, which has a function. And this function is covered by use case. So this function is not defined in the tasks.js, it's defined in the nulls extras. And another function that you'll see here is form from array submitted in Windows. So is that form submitted within a certain window? And this is also now defined in the nulls extras. This helps keep your code modularized, and it also helps in maintenance and in things like testing. So it's a good practice, and it's something that we usually do when building CHT applications. And so I'll just show you what the nuls extra files, the nuls extras file looks like. So it will have your definition for the different functions, your postnatal forms, your is covered by use case, and things like is form from array submitted in window. And within each, you would put the function conditions and the like. So the exercise, just before we get to the questions, is to follow a certain tutorial within the doc site to build a task that helps CHWs to conduct a health assessment follow-up for children under the age of 5 that have a cough lasting more than 3 days. And the task should be within 24 hours. So I'll stop there. And